Okay, so we're going to try to write the polynomial. Polynomial, you're going to need to start with y equals f of x. What would you like to start with today? Y or f of x? Y? Sure, that's good. How many roots do they give you here? 2. Are any of them complex? No, they're both real. So I don't need to worry about its conjugate. So you make 2 sets of quantity. 2 roots, and you start with x minus right off the bat. Okay? Whatever you have, you can start with x minus. Then in there, you write in the roots. What's your first root? 3. What's your next root? -4. Some of you said, well, couldn't I change it to positive right away? Yep, that's fine too. Then guess what you do after this? You not solve, you distribute to get a polynomial. Okay. So here we go. X times x is x squared. X times 4 is plus 4x. Now in the middle, -3 times x is -3x. I like to write it in this way, and you don't have to. Because later we're going to multiply a trinomial by a trinomial. So we want to line up things that are similar. -3 times 4 is -12. Can you see when I line them up, I know exactly what I'm adding or subtracting? So that's the polynomial. What form is this in? Standard. Okay. So when I said put it in standard form, you multiply it all the way. Yes?
Will you ask us to put it in another form?
I will. I can ask you to put in factor form. And guys, what do I mean by factor form? This right here is factor form. Can you see that? Which one's easier? That one. But if you see the word standard, make sure you multiply all the way. Okay. Number 2. How many zeros do you see? 3. How many quantity would you have? 3. Here we go. What do we start with inside the quantity? X minus. Okay. X minus. Always x minus. Now you fill in the zeros. What's the first 0? And -7. What's the next 0? 5/2. And then, technically, x minus 0 is not just x? Yeah. So normally when I have that, I move it to the front because it's easier for me to multiply that later. Okay. Yes?
Could you do 2.5 if you don't want to do fractions?
You can't do 2.5 either.
Or not 2. That's not 2. Yeah.
Because it says what? Remove fractions. Okay, fractions are decimals. So how do I remove that fraction? Multiply the denominator. So multiply by 2. So what do you have in there? How many x's now? 2x. Minus what? -5. Now, just mentally check for me. If I take this and I want to find the roots, would you still get 5/2 back? Yeah, that's why we get rid of all decimals and all fractions. Okay, let's multiply it out slowly. I'm sorry, Jason, you have hands up.
I figured it out.
Okay. How would you multiply this all out so it's in standard form? Do you want to distribute the 2 by 2 first? Or do you want to multiply the x out first? Probably the x out first, okay? So let's do that. So y equals x squared plus what? 7. Now you have to multiply. 7x, thank you. Good eye. So now you have no choice. You have to multiply the binomial by another binomial. And just slowly. Here you go. X squared times 2x is 2x to the third. X squared times -5 is -5x squared. Yes or no?
Yes.
Yeah. Next, 7x times 2x is a positive.
14.
I lined it up right there. 7x times -5 is a -35x. Can I combine those two guys right there? Yeah. So final answer in standard form is 2x to the third. What else?
9x squared.
Plus 9x squared minus. Beautiful. Box that up. Okay. So that's if I give you all real roots. What if I don't? And then, here we go. I'm going to show you how to distribute the complex root two different ways. Okay, I want you to copy both down, and then on your homework you can decide which one you like best. Example 3, can you see that I gave you the complex roots? And they are already in conjugate pairs. So I don't have to worry about it, I just have to put it together. Total of how many roots do we have? Still what? 2. Okay, remember, it's a complex root, so it's still 2. What do we always start with inside? X minus. Doesn't matter what I give you, you write x minus in here. Now, but here's the part where you have to pay attention. It's a complex root, and it has how many terms in that complex root? 2. So you want to put a quantity. Why is the quantity important? What if I don't have a quantity? Then would you agree that you will write x minus 5 minus 2i? But is that really correct? No. The quantity make you distribute the negative first. Okay? So now before we can even multiply it out, we have to distribute what? The negative. Okay, so that would be x minus 5 minus 2i. X minus 5 what? Plus 2i. All right. This is a trinomial, right? 3 terms?
Yes.
Should we be very careful? Yes. Super. Here we go. X times x is? Yep. X times negative 5 is? X times positive 2i is? 2xi or 2ix. You decide. Okay? Shoot. Okay. All right, next. The negative 5. Negative 5 times x is? Negative 5x. Negative 5 times negative 5 is? Plus 25. I don't have that yet, so I am extending it a little bit out. Negative 5 times positive 2i. Negative 10i. I don't have that either, so I'll write it all over there. Next, negative 2i times x is? Negative 2ix or negative 2xi. Does it matter? No, you can write ix or xi. That's really up to you. Negative I times a negative 10. Positive 10i. Negative I times a positive 2i. Negative 4i squared. Can you see anything that's canceling? Oh yeah. Aren't those guys canceling? Beautiful. Aren't those guys canceling? Look at that. Y equals, I'm going to drop everything else that's not cancel. X squared minus what? How many x's? Minus 10 x's. Yep. Drop down the 25. Okay. I have minus 4i squared. I may not keep I squared or I. Okay. Alan said plus 4 because I squared is always what? Negative 1. Okay. So if that's a plus 4, what's really at the end? What's this make? 20? 29. So that's in, what form is this in? Standard. Look at that. Your polynomial, should it have any i's in it? No. No i's in the final answer. Now, I'm going to teach you a second method of multiplying out the complex. And again, I'm only teaching you how to multiply the complex. Ready? Method number 2. Let me make a line here to organize. You should have space on the bottom of this, don't you? I write way bigger than you do, guys. No, never mind. Method number 2. Okay. Would you agree again? You have 2 roots. Yeah. So I'm going to write the roots as x equals 5 plus and minus 2i. Can you see the only difference is a plus and minus in the middle?
Yeah.
Okay. And again, understanding this is a lot better. Okay, then don't just copy if you don't understand it. Ask right away. I'm going to isolate the imaginary numbers. So that means I'm going to move the 5 to the left. If I move the 5 to the left, I just have this. Any questions so far? Me trying to isolate the imaginary. then I will, remember this is an equation. Can you see it? If I square one side, I have to square the other side for it to be equal. Now, I'm going to write x minus 5 twice, so I can do what? Distribute, because it's a power of 2. You see it? Okay. So x minus 5 squared is the same thing as x minus 5 times x minus 5. Here's the part. You have a plus or minus in the front of 2i. What happens when I square either plus or minus? They will always be what?
Positive.
Positive. What's 2i squared? 2i squared is what?
2.
What's 2 squared? 4 with I squared. Okay. I'm going to write everything out, so I'm right now going to write 4i squared. True or false?
Yes.
Then I'm going to FOIL out or multiply out the x minus 5 times x minus 5. That will give me x squared minus 10x. Or should I write that out twice? Do you want me to write 10x or 5x squared minus 5x squared? Okay. So x squared minus 5x plus what for the 20 on the end? 25 equals 4 times I squared is what? Negative 1. So this is now x squared minus 10x plus 25 equals a negative 4. Again, I'm trying to write a polynomial. So what do? You add 4 to the other side. If I add 4 to the other side, what do we have? 29 equal to y. Okay. I'm going to copy it down, try to understand each step, and then ask me questions. Okay? If you don't copy it down, you can't come back to me later and be like, oh, can you like teach me the second method? I'm saying, no, let me see your notes. So copy it down.
They'll probably never be a day when it's done.
You're not going to have home this Friday. It's a break. I'm really going to give you a break, dude.
I don't believe you. You're lying.
Hey, you know, like, just wait till Friday to find out.
Monday, you're just going to be a regular cop.
Okay. I don't see you Monday. Okay.
You're not going to be here. You want to sit?
You can be here Monday.
No, Monday we come back.
The Monday when we come back, we're starting Unit 3. Okay, here we go. Example 4. Shh. Guys, I don't decide your curriculum. I'm just a follower. I follow the school, you follow me. That's how it works. Right?
Yes. So we're like sheep.
Exactly. Listen, the school has to teach what the state says. The state has to teach certain things that the federal said. We're just all... Okay. So, right now, example 4 has one real root and one what? Complex root. As we mentioned before, complex root must be accompanied by it's what? Conjugate. It didn't write it out, but you need to be knowledgeable enough to write it out yourself. So immediately, there should be a conjugate root right away. So how many? 1, 2, and 3. What should we write inside immediately?
X minus.
Yep, x minus, x minus, x minus. All right, your first root is a 3. The other two, make sure you put quantity. So 7 plus 8i and 7 minus 8i. Then slowly distribute this out. Okay, so here we go. F of x is x minus 3. I'm going to leave that first. Guys, always distribute the complex first. Always. Okay, always distribute the complex first. So here we go. X minus 7 minus 8i times x minus 7 plus 8i. Again, I'm going to try to do both ways. The first way is just going to multiply a trinomial by a trinomial. I don't have any faster way than what you guys already know. Just slowly and carefully write stuff down. X times x is what? X squared. X times negative 7 is negative. X times positive AI is positive AXI or AIX. It's not important in XI or IX. Next, you guys have negative 7. Negative 7 times X is negative 7X. Negative 7 times negative 7 is positive 49. Negative 7 times a positive AI is a negative what? 56I. Yay or nay? Yay. The more you do a 3 by 3, the quicker you get, okay? So 8I, negative 8I times X is? Yeah. Negative 8I times a negative 7 is? Negative times a negative is what? Positive 56I. Negative AI times a positive AI is a negative 64I squared. But some of you said, well, can I change that to positive 64 right away? And the answer is, of course. Okay? All right. F of x is, I'm going to drop down the x minus 3. Can you see if we haven't done anything with that? Okay. Then here we go. Can you see the i's terms are canceling? Yep. So I have x squared. How many x's do we have? Negative 14x. Then I have a positive 49. The negative 64I squared becomes a positive 64. Can I combine those two terms? Yes. Okay. And okay, so x squared minus 14x plus what? You're right. Okay. Now, for this one, I will allow you to leave it in factor form. Why is this called a factor form?
Because there's two quantities.
There's two quantity. I can just leave it here. Okay. Then you just do it like again. So instead of a 3 by 3, you just do a 2 by 3. Louis? You can write y equals. Louis? You have your hands up, or that's just stretching? Did you have a question and you were just stretching? Okay. Now, who's interested in seeing method number 2?
No. Yes.
Less confused.
Okay.
Wait, no. You do that like with
Ready?
It's gonna confuse me.
Shh. Okay. Skylar, you have a question.
Oh no, I'm interested in seeing method 2.
Thank you. Here we go. I'm going to wait for you guys to be quiet.
You have to copy out method 2.
I would like for you to copy it down, so when you're stuck, at least you will be able to ask me questions. Again, we will wait for you. Ashley?
Will the test practice make us do specific methods or no?
I'm just showing you extra. Not all the teachers will show you the second method. But some of us are interested. Okay. I will start whenever you guys. Method 2 is only good for multiplying out the complex. Okay. I don't know what happened. No, my computer just shut off all of a sudden.
It's a sign.
It's a sign. We love technology, right? All right. Oh, I may be out of battery. Hold on, let me plug it in. The battery's right.
Yeah, you do. It's so loud.
There you go. I just need to plug in my power. So, method number 2. Again, method 2 is a what? Distributing what?
Oh, the complex.
The complex, right. You have, again, if it's a complex, they always come in pairs. What's going on?
It's a sign.
It's a sign?
Doesn't want us to learn.
Yeah.
I told you.
Minecraft. I don't even know what Minecraft is. It's preloaded on my computer, okay? I don't even know what it is.
Try it.
What's the night? Oh. Listen, I have no control over. The wonderful thing about technology is I have. All right, let's try again. Round 3. You know, every time my computer does that, you guys keep saying, "Oh, you play Minecraft." Every time.
I'm down.
And every time I have to tell you. All right, something is definitely. There's no difference at all if you're given a graph or giving the zeros. So first you go and look for the zeros. Let's say that this is exactly what?
4. Negative.
Right. Now, for the sake of simplicity, we're going to say this is a negative
1.
half. Okay. Now, this is going to be a positive 3. So how many zeros do you have there? 3. Okay. But here's the different. A couple of things that's different. You will still have 3 quantities because you still have 3 zeros. You will start with x minus. Those still the same. But, here we go. We're going to plug in the negative 4. We're going to plug in the negative half. And we're going to plug in the 3. You have to look at each x-intercept and see if it crosses or bounces. At negative 4, crosses or bounces? Cross. So should you leave it an even power or an odd power? An odd. What's your favorite odd number? 1. So do I need to write anything there? No. And then negative half, crosses or bounces? Crosses. So again, what power is that? It's an odd, right? But at 3, bounce. So what power do you want? 2. You're right. Power of 2. Okay. Then there's an a value in the front. Okay. Again, remember all polynomial should have an a value in the front. Sometimes it's 1, sometimes it's negative 1, sometimes it's 7, sometimes a negative half, right? Congratulations, in this class we will not find a. That is going to be left for pre-calculus. But you will have to tell me whether a is positive or negative. Look at the graph. Is a positive or negative? Positive. How do you know? Because it opens up the end behavior. Okay. Okay. So I can't leave 2 negatives in there, and I can't have a what? A fraction. So leave a as a, x plus 4. How do you get rid of the fraction of a half? Multiply by 2. So now this is 2x plus a what? 1. Then the last one is x minus 3 to what power? Remember, you must tell me a is either positive or negative. And guess what? You can leave it in factor form. Good question. Someone can answer that for me. How do I know for this particular case a is positive? Skylar.
The direction that it's opening.
The end behavior. Okay? Always the end behavior. Matt? Yeah, always the end behavior. Correct. If they both go down, then that means a is less than? Right. Okay, last one. This first 0 is where? Negative 4. This 0 right here, just to make things simple, let's just say that's at positive 2, okay? Next, how many 0 do you have?
2.
So I will start with the 2 quantities. Make sure you put an a in the front. X minus, X minus. What do we fill in both spaces? Negative 4 and a positive 2. Do we both give them a power of 1?
No.
No. Which one has an even power? the 4. You also have to tell me whether A is positive or negative. Negative. How do you know? The end behavior. Guys, is this an odd power? This goes up, this goes down. That means A is less than?
0.
Okay, let's make it pretty. F of x is A times x plus 4 to what power? 2 times x minus 2. And then you have to tell me A is less than 0 to say that A is negative. When will you learn what A is?
Pre-calc.
In pre-cal.
What is A?